With so many shapes and sizes to choose from, today's pipe fittings literally have all the angles covered. They start with sheets of copper. This copper has been refined until it's 99.99% pure. They load the sheets into a furnace that's fired at just over 1000 degrees Celsius. The copper melts into a piping hot soup and then flows into a second furnace. This one has cylindrical molds which draw the liquid copper up and cool it as they shape it into solid copper rods. These rods are flexible enough to wind through rollers as they travel towards a big spindle. They spiral around the spindle, accumulating in big coils to await the next step. This device uncoils the copper and chops it into little pucks about the diameter of a quarter. Incredibly, each one of these pucks will be used to make a plumbing fitting. This tool pushes the copper puck into a cylindrical die to shape it into tubing. In this one swift action, a little copper puck is transformed into a much longer piece of pipe. This copper has been reshaped as easily as a piece of putty. One end is closed, but it's just temporary. At the next station, equipment bends the tubing around forms to give it an elbow shape. At the same time, a blade cuts the closed end to open it up. Next, these elbows will get some fine-tuning. A two-part device comes together to steady them, as tools stretch the internal diameter so the part will fit on other pipes. A spinning cutter then carves bevels onto the rims. This beveled edge will allow it to slide more easily onto other pipes during installation. Over at the next furnace, they're working on a larger scale project. This molten copper will be used to make fittings for high-rises and other buildings with bigger plumbing systems. The copper flows into a casting furnace. It generates copper rods that are about the size of a telephone pole. Each one weighs about a ton, so it takes a crane to move it down the production line. A circular saw then carves them up, producing copper chunks that look a bit like firewood. They heat each chunk in a furnace to make it more pliable. Then it's into an extruder. It uses tons of hydraulic pressure to hollow out the copper log. At the same time, it forces the copper into a die that stretches it 12 times its original length and slims it down considerably. The lengthy tubing cools down in a milky bath. Then a crane moves it down the line to equipment that adjusts the diameter and chops it up. Water now flows into the shorter piece of pipe, which is encased in a mold. Tools push into the pipe, forcing the water in a vertical direction. Sheer water pressure reshapes the tubing into a T, while the mold establishes the contours. T-fittings are used to combine or split the flow of fluid in a plumbing system, and the water-forming press does a seamless job of making them. But there's still the matter of the closed end at the base of the T, so they chop it off. They machine all three openings because when they connect it to other pipes, it has to fit, to a T of course. Now these fittings are ready to join other pipes and parts, and by doing so, they'll make our lives a whole lot more convenient.